5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
And welcome everybody to Truth, Beer, and Podsequences live here at BC's Bottle Lodge, Montgomery. So thank you for those of you who have been listening for a while. I appreciate it. For those of you who are new to the show, Truth, Beer, and Podsequences is the podcast where we listen to all the Cincinnati-based craft beer podcasts from the previous week. And then my co-host and I get together and tell our version of those podcasts. So I am Marco. I'm a brewer and a bartender here in Cincinnati. And I'm going to introduce the best co-host in Podcastlandia.
I am Julia, and I am a beer drinker. I like to drink beer, I talk about beer, and sometimes I even write about beer, though that is not as frequent as it is during beer event season. We're here at the wonderful BC's Bottle Lodge, Montgomery. Producer Brian, thank you so much for producing our beers
Producer Brian.
today. And speaking of craft beer podcasts, it would not be a good craft beer podcast if we weren't talking about what we are drinking. So, Marco, what you drinking?
I am drinking Vlad, which is a Pilsner from Fretboard in Blue Ash here, locally.
Very
And
nice.
Julia, what you got?
I have Sonder's William Goat, a Bock beer to round up Bockfest season.
I have heard of this.
Once or
William
twice.
Goat.
It's newish.
Yeah.
It'll catch on.
I have heard.
It'll catch on.
I've heard of this.
So, Marco, have you listened to any Cincinnati craft beer podcasts this week?
Yeah, all of them.
All of them?
All of them.
All right. Well, have you listened to the Craft Parenting podcast?
I did.
Hell yeah. What about the Brews Travelers Outcast podcast?
I did.
All right. What about Sonder Stories?
I did.
I think that's it. I don't think there are any more.
No. I mean, there's usually maybe one more.
One more? Do you remember the name of that one? It's not very...
Well,
I don't know,
usually,
memorable.
I mean, it's Cincy Brewcast. I usually have.
Usually, yeah.
Usually
Well,
a Cincy Brewcast.
True. We'll get that one next week.
That's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot going on. When you are a conglomerate of information for Cincinnati craft beer and you quit your full-time job to be full-time into your thing of being a full-time Cincinnati craft beer vlogger, blogger, podcaster, some things come up and you can't actually do your normal routine every week. I mean, sometimes
It's cool.
you gotta breastfeed your kid or something, whatever it is. I mean, things come up, So, let's see what shows, or let's let the audience pick the order in which we're going to cover the show.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Let's do it.
All right.
And we'll see if they'll remember which one we're missing, because I still think that there's one that we have yet to mention.
Okay.
All right.
Did we miss one?
We'll find out.
All right,
We'll
let's
find
go.
out. Okay, so for the live studio audience here, by round of applause, do we start with Sonder Stories? All right. All right. How about Craft Parenting Podcast? Man, these are close.
This is close.
What about the Outcast Podcast?
All right. Okay.
And does
That was
anyone
pretty
else
good.
have any other suggestions before we start off with Sonder Stories? No? No other suggestions?
No, we're just gonna. You did.
It does count.
You did?
It does count. If you want, later on today, if you want to get up on one of the mics and talk about it, we'd be glad. No? Okay.
No. Okay.
All right.
So we're gonna start with
Sonder Stories.
Sonder Stories.
Yes. This was chapter 88, the Super Delivery Brothers.
Yep.
So Sonder it was the normal group of Justin, Chad, and Danny. And then they had Casey and Noah, who are the Super Delivery Brothers, joining them on the show this week. Okay, here's a question for you and for anyone in the audience. The Sonder Stories intro music. Am I the only one that snaps along to the music when that part kicks in? Yeah. Yeah? Oh,
Yeah.
You're the only one.
I guess so.
I go into
No,
a vocal, like a vocal thing.
So you start singing
I
along
start singing
to the...
along with it.
All right, that's fair. So, because we actually have someone from Sonder Stories here, Danny, how the hell did you go to Property Brothers instead of Mario Brothers? when they said the Super Brothers or just Delivery Brothers.
Okay, hold
Come
on a second. Here we go.
Are we
Calling
bringing them up? We're calling
up.
you out, man. We've got to know.
So, for those of you who are not watching the live stream,
It's a tight fit,
there
so
are a
pick whatever's
lot of
easiest for you.
Cincinnati craft beer podcasters here present, and we're fortunate to have Danny here with us, so we're going to have Danny explain himself.
Yeah, if you want to just slide the mic.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Danny.
How did I come up with Property Brothers? I
Yes.
really like HGTV, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Nothing
That's
wrong
okay.
with that.
It's
I
all good.
also, I do want to defend myself. I am a fan of Mario and Luigi. I grew up playing N64. I will beat anyone at Mario Kart if they challenge me.
Challenge. There we go.
Brian, you want to hang out
Podcaster
later?
Throwdown.
Yeah, I'll come over. We have to have beers involved, though.
Always.
Yeah.
All right.
Always, always.
Love it.
So one of a quote that came up very early on that I think needs to make it into the intro when you next add new clips.
Oh, yes. This helps me out a lot.
It does. So the weird flex but okay is always amazing. I still think that beer should have had a salad emoji instead of the flex emoji.
There.
But only a certain percentage of the population would get that.
We had that beer name before we made
Before
fun
that
of
happened?
Chad for eating a salad.
Oh, that's funny. Okay,
Yeah.
so my notebook is causing interference, so that is my bad,
I
guys.
can maybe move this one too.
You switching mics?
I don't know if that's gonna help or not.
Even better. All right,
Good metal.
try that one.
Truth Beer Pod metal.
All right,
gonna-
we'll figure this out eventually. Yeah.
Also, I'm
Yeah,
stealing
right.
one of these, by the way. I hope that's all right.
Yes. So there was a quote, and I don't know if it was Casey or Noah that said this, but I want to know what the reaction was for the rest of you guys when this was said, or if you even caught it. He said that you are destroying your palms by rubbing the stick. How in the hell did you not lose it at that, or was just the conversation too deep?
Again, out of context, not great. I believe this was brought up on Shift Beers, actually. Funny enough, we were.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Shift beer.
Shift
When you guys
beers.
were talking about the N64, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, the
Yeah.
palm smash.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
some of the, I believe it was, Beth was talking about how like some of the mini games in Mario Party, you have to get the.
Right. Right.
I'm not helping my cause.
No,
here,
no,
but-
not. Well, if you're not on the Platinum Patron live stream watching this live, the emotions that you're just doing,
Yep.
100% don't help.
I can send
but
videos as well if anyone
That
needs
works.
picture help.
That
so,
works.
yeah,
That
yeah.
works. Pictures of rubbing the stick. I don't know
Yep.
if that's any
I
better
have those available.
at all.
Send those to at Raging Hop
Raging
on
Hop
Twitter.
There we go. Oh,
I think I
man.
got my N64. I think Rachel got me the N64 on my wife Rachel. Shout out to my wife Rachel.
Shout out,
on
Rachel.
International Women's Day.
Yes.
Also, shout out to Selma Hayek and Elizabeth Hurley on International Women's Day.
You are not paying attention. That's all right.
But yeah, Rachel. I think Rachel bought me my N64 for my 18th birthday.
Nice.
So dating myself.
There you go.
I don't know how mine almost made it through college, but it did.
That's impressive.
I have a
The
sad
same one-
story. I sold mine for $12 at a video game store at
Oh,
the Tri-County
no.
Mall.
You know they're going for like 100 now, right?
No, if I'd have known that at the time, I wouldn't have sold it for $12 so I could pick up a case of like Natty Light or something.
Yeah, yeah. It would be a good deal.
Fair trade.
Not a good
Fair
deal.
trade. Good deal.
So sports seem to be a bigger and bigger part of the Sonder Stories podcast anymore.
Maybe.
Justin seems to always turn any conversation. You guys were neck deep talking about N64 gaming, and all of a sudden he was like, "So Danny, you had this jersey." Completely went into left field with that one.
I think
Is it going to turn into a sports podcast?
I think I brought that up because we were talking about like items that we value much heavier
Sure.
than what their actual worth is.
Yeah.
If it turns into a sports podcast, it probably shouldn't be affiliated with the place that we work at. But we do all follow sports pretty heavily. Some of us different leagues than others.
Sure.
But yeah, I think that our podcast will stay beer with
Beer
some
focused.
fun things involved for the most part.
Like country music.
Yeah, I think the big thing is that we're trying to learn a little bit more about our beers and the people that work at Sonder. And yeah, a lot of us do listen to country music.
Nice. It's quickly becoming country music season. as you went
Oh,
into the
God.
podcast.
I know, but
Yes.
I might, in spite, not pick any country
Jesus.
music just to keep this bit going.
God, how many more weeks? You even mentioned at the end of the show, it's like how many weeks before Justin's just Kenny Chesney on repeat, and then I start vomiting.
You know.
I don't know. It's just I can't do it. But
It's
I
fine.
love
It's
that he
fine.
has his what did he call it? His playlist that everybody knows.
I
You
don't
were
know.
there, Danny. I'm just saying.
I
you were
was
present.
I was physically
It's
present.
like everybody's
Yes,
there, and
but
so
Danny had
like,
beers, so
Justin was leaning into Chicago. You know, after all that we've been through, I will make it up to you.
oh man. So, but no, it was a really cool episode. I always like hearing the stories from everyone at Sonder, from the people that you don't always see or hear about, like the people making the deliveries, the people selling the beer to the different accounts. So I'm looking forward to the next episode and who you guys have on the show next.
Yeah, I think of it as you will, but I think that everyone kind of has their, work and craft beer journey that leads them to Sonder, and we want to tell it. And Noah and Casey have a really fun one where Noah just recently moved into more of a logistics role for us, but it was very fun for a long time to have two brothers delivering beer for us, which was pretty cool.
Nice, as long as they're not, well, I guess it was Chad that almost dropped a keg into the middle of Montgomery
It
Road.
Oh my
was,
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a story!
Yeah, we've been in business for a little over 3 years now, and we always find ourselves doing things way outside of our job description. For me personally, I've poured beer, delivered beer, worked the pack tech line. I've worked events, a lot of things outside of my job description, but I really enjoy that aspect of work and kind of the family concept that we have at Sonder. So I am always happy to step in and pour beers, and I worked at an event last weekend. Pack teching I do only if really necessary, but we're kind of past that at least a little point.
I think Brian from Shift Beers has a really good pack teching technique.
I believe it. He's got good
so
wrists.
Might be able to
Yeah.
doing a wrist wave.
He's got a
All right,
wave.
all right.
He's got a wave thing.
Yeah.
Strong
So,
wrists.
Were you voluntold to be on the board for Oktoberfest, or is that like, oh, I got to do that?
No, that's just all of us. All of
That's
us
all
kind
of
of
you?
work. Well, not all of us, but largely the marketing and operations teams are the ones that put that on.
Gotcha.
All of the marketing came from the three of us, and then largely the execution is on our taproom team, making sure that we have bartenders and volunteers, and then coordinating music and events and stuff like that.
It's a heck of an
really
event.
cool, yeah.
I may have seen some of you there.
It
this
stresses
past
me
year.
out.
How blurry were they when you saw them?
Oh, they were all good. Everybody was great.
That was great?
It was
All right.
great.
The best
All
part about Oktoberfest for me is that all of my work is prior to the event.
So you can just go and enjoy it.
I volunteer during the event, and then we do the podcast typically. But for the most part, my job is to get people there. So once people are there, I'm able to enjoy myself.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you
really
guys for
appreciate
having
it.
me. Thank
Again,
you.
I appreciate it.
Chapter
Thank you
88
so
of
much.
Sonder Stories.
Danny from Sonder Stories.
So if you are not already subscribed to Sonder Stories, do so. I think, Danny, you have a Sonder Stories Instagram, and that's the only social media that Sonder Stories has as a podcast? Okay.
It makes sense to our main page a little bit.
Okay. Follow Sonder Stories. Follow Sonder Brewing everywhere, and you'll get all the information on Sonder Stories. All right, Marco,
All
shall
right.
we have the audience pick what's next?
Yeah, but before we do that, we should also shout out our podcast host, BC's Bottle Lodge Montgomery. Thank you
Yeah.
for the hospitality. BC's Bottle Lodge Montgomery with producer
Producer
Brian
Brian.
behind the bar.
He puts the B in BCs.
Yes, he does.
Although I
Let's
will
see.
say, as far as BCs go, we did not see the Cintas guy today.
No, we didn't.
No, he has not
No.
shown
It's
up.
just kind of why we didn't shout him out.
Is
but-
it early? All right.
Early guy.
All right.
Oh, look at this guy that just walked in.
Oh, we got a late arrival here. What's up,
going
John?
on?
Friend of the show and
John Lee.
first podcast guest. John Lee is just
Yeah, our
walking the
first
door.
podcast guest.
And
Is this from-
he
Is this from
bringing
Cellar
us
Door?
beer.
Wow.
Oh, well then toss
Is this
it.
something
No.
new? Wow. Something new.
Hey,
Whoa.
that never happens.
All of us will try it.
Nice. Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely we will.
dangerous. It's very
All
dangerous. If I
right.
have not tried it, and I'm going to share it with you guys, it's very dangerous. Very dangerous.
All right.
Okay, so yes, do you want to hit a sound or something? And we'll
No,
have
I'll
the
do that in
audience-
post.
You do it in post?
I'm doing it in post.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm
It's up
sure.
to you.
No, I know.
You do the work.
Yeah.
I just sit here and sing.
10 minutes later.
Okay.
All
That was
right.
wonderful. You took French?
I did.
Yeah.
I took 3 years of French in high school.
Yeah. I took
Don't
2
remember a
years.
damn
I
thing
took
about
2
it.
years of Spanish too.
All right. Actually, I think I can still say the Hail Mary in French, and that's all I got. Hey.
Stop me when I
All
lie.
right. Audience, pick again. What do we do next? Do we do Craft Parenting Podcast?
Oh,
Come on.
Joe. Come here, Joe.
Ooh,
Please.
yeah.
Everyone, we're very happy and excited to be graced by Joe here from Craft Parenting Pod. He's the Michael Jackson of German dancing.
You need to say that with a proper accent.
Well, I mean, given the times, I just want to be want to not have anyone confuse the accent for anything that it's not. So we'll
All
just
right,
go
fair
with
enough.
the Michael Jackson of German dancing. Joe,
All
I'm
right.
just
Hey,
welcome.
how's it going?
Hey,
Welcome.
thank you so much for being here. So
Thanks for having us.
you abandoned Caroline with the kids tonight, so
I
you could
did,
be up here and
yes.
drink some beer.
Yes.
Good choice. This is a much cooler place than being at home with your kids.
Yeah,
or
I've never
at
been
least
here
we've heard from
before.
other podcast hosts before.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you guys did this was your 50th episode.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
50.
We made it 50 episodes.
50 episodes and 50 years, because as we all know, Joe is ancient.
Ancient.
And
Well,
I think
that's
you,
what they
I think you
say.
said 50 years a couple of times, which I thought was pretty funny. But now you guys talked about Bockfest returning, which is why I'm drinking a Bock beer.
Yay, Bockfest.
Hey, Bockfest!
All right.
You
Bockfest.
guys were drinking 13 Below Brewery's Flusbock when you
Yes,
recorded
we
the show.
were.
I know you're like, I don't remember any of this, what's happening, so I'm relying on you to tell me what we talked about,
Yeah,
which is
for
fine.
sure.
I took notes.
Oh, yeah, laminated show notes. You were showing me earlier.
And a
Flusbock.
notebook full of episode-specific notes. So you guys mentioned that Brink Brewing did their King Cake Baby beer, and you released information that they put the baby in the beer. So did you get the baby in your beer, or did Caroline get the baby in the beer?
Caroline, for sure, got the baby.
That tracks.
Caroline.
That definitely tracks.
We did not get king cake, though.
Well,
Which
when you
is-
look at the name, it's got an exclamation point in it, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
King Cake,
Baby.
baby.
Yeah.
That's right, baby.
So I just lost my place in my notes, but
I
that's
do
cool.
that. I do
can
that to
fix that.
people.
You guys started talking about other podcasts, specifically the Cincy Brewcast. That's our job.
Oh, I'm
So
sorry.
I'm going to need you guys to step back a little bit.
We need to
Yeah,
know
I'll
our
try.
place. Yeah.
No, it was all good. It was really cool. I like how you tied in what the Gnome has put out there into what you guys know and are learning and are wanting to put out there about Bockfest, because you learn more when you get information from multiple sources. You guys did a whole lot about the different types of Bock beers that are out there, and Caroline was pretty upset that the Bock beer Wikipedia page really didn't list any Cincinnati Bock beers. So I believe she is going to be editing that tonight while she's babysitting, or not babysitting, I guess parenting. I guess that's what it's called
Right,
when
it's
you actually
parenting
own
when
the
it's
She
kid.
your
doesn't
own
like
kid.
it when you
They're
call
your
it babysitting. Yeah,
So
she's
what
right there right now editing as we speak.
All right. How many Cincinnati Bock beers are going to show up on the Wikipedia page when she's done?
All of them, for
All
sure.
of them?
All of them.
Nice. So at least 30, if not 50. I will say that there was I don't want to say misstep, but when you were talking about, or Caroline, I guess specifically, was saying that Einbach means Billy Good in German. As the Michael Jackson of German dancing, I'm surprised that you didn't correct her. Oh, I put him on the. He's like, I have no idea.
I did what?
I did.
Should've done
Yeah, I mean,
So apparently,
when you're married, you just let things go.
you just agree, like,
Right.
yes,
Just
honey,
yes,
that,
yeah.
that
Yeah, you
is
do.
fine. So Ziegenbach
I gained like
apparently
40
is
pounds
German
over the
for
past few
Billy
years.
Goat. Who knew? All right, let's see, what else do we have here?
Joe,
you-
what's been bothering Caroline in children's television?
Children's television,
lately?
that's a good one. Or you've been watching a lot of
Yeah.
children's television too. Caillou.
We watch a lot of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, not Caillou, and not what's the other annoying Canadian one? I don't know.
Is Dora Canadian? I don't know.
Annoying
I don't know
Canadian
kids' TV.
No, Caillou I know is Canadian. but-
The newer. Wow.
Oh man. So how about this? You guys were kidnapped because you were wearing lederhosen and were locked away in the logging tunnels.
Yeah, that's a funny story.
Yeah, why don't let us know about that? Tell us about that because that was.
That was funny. It's funny.
Do you want to give us any more detail, or do you want people to have to listen to the episode to find out?
Well,
what
I mean,
exactly
we were
happened
parking.
there?
We were trying to go to Bockfest, and this guy was like, "You're coming with us."
He recognized you. He was like, "That's the Joe. That's the Michael Jackson of German dancing. You come here now." That's right.
Oh, but you'll have to listen to find the whole
out.
story.
Absolutely. It was a great episode. I really like the episodes you guys do where it's really informational, where you go into, I know Caroline's doing a whole series. Well, you both are. She's doing most of the talking in the series about the book that she's reading on Cincinnati beer. So definitely check those out. It's a 5-part trilogy that may have 37 parts by the time you guys are finished with
maybe.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we're going to do one more.
Excellent.
So that
Excellent.
makes
I'm
it what,
looking forward to it.
seven or eight
seven.
in the
In the
three-part
trilogy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's a 3-part trilogy, but
In
20
7 parts.
years later, we're going to reboot it.
With,
All right,
with your
Joe.
kids.
What we're gonna do here
Maybe,
in just a
yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
You have your own set. You have your own spot, your own place to shine on your own podcast, which you should.
Yes.
You should.
Yes.
But that means that we're gonna put you on the spot, and we're gonna take a beat. We're gonna take a beat, and if anybody needs a drink or anything, we're gonna take a beat, and you're gonna come back, and you're gonna give us a dad joke.
A dad joke,
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
Okay, and anybody else who has a dad joke, anybody, has the opportunity to come up and take my microphone and tell that dad joke.
Please, please, please take Marco's microphone. All right.
Like that's the first time I've heard that.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a beat.
So we're gonna
give
take
you
a beat,
chance
we're gonna
to
take a
think
break.
about it, and we'll be right back.
All right. I got one.
All right. We are back. What are we?
Julia,
Marco.
Truth Beer and Pod.
Live audience. You guys still...
We are
Woo!
back. All right, everybody. So this is the part of the show. We're back. And so as we left you, Joe from Craft Parenting Pod was getting prepared with his dad joke. He has
Yes.
a segment every show right at the end of their podcast where he tells a dad joke. And Joe, we're putting you on the spot. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, let's
Do you
hear
want me
it.
to go first or are you going to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Marco, did you hear about the sesame seed who couldn't leave the gambling casino?
No.
Well, he was on a roll.
Okay, that's good. I like that. Marco.
All right.
right,
So
Marco,
everybody, what has 4 wheels and flies? Yes.
Oh.
Garbage truck is the answer.
Nice. Producer Brian produced that answer incredibly quickly. Good job.
Probably 'cause
you
he
win
Googled
a
the
sample
same
of beer.
He Googled the same thing I did.
Joe, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, thanks for having
Tell
me.
Caroline that we said, I'm sorry, Marco.
Caroline.
Or to the entire audience, please say Caroline for
Ready?
us. 1, 2, 3.
Caroline.
Caroline.
You know,
Heck.
her absolute favorite song, and this is my own truth, is Sweet Caroline, which you guys were singing before.
We
Oh,
were.
yeah, we
we were
did.
singing that when you walked in.
We were testing the microphones.
Yes.
That's right. That's how we test the microphones here at Truth Beer Pod. We do random songs. So
Nice.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you for
Everyone
joining us.
check out Craft Parenting Podcast. They have not only a podcast, but a blog. Ton of really good information about stuff to do with your family in the Cincinnati area. Lots of talk about Cincinnati craft beer. Support them, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you again, Joe.
thank you, Joe.
All right. So are we going to talk about what's in front of us right now? Or are we
Yeah.
gonna-
What is
okay.
this? What do we have? John Lee.
Oh, I think he's still pouring.
Oh, yeah. Oh, don't drink it yet. He
Okay,
says.
don't. Oh, this is.
Oh, this
okay,
is-
I'm
oh.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, Grand Reserve from
All
Sonder.
right. Yes.
Thank you, Danny.
Thank you, Danny, very much.
Cheers, everyone. Cheers.
Cheers, everyone. The Grand Reserve.
Grand Reserve. All right.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh. Oh Lord. My goodness.
Ooh, she boozy.
12%?
She boozy. About 12%, Danny? Nice. This is really, really good.
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you so much for sharing this with all of us.
Thank you, Danny.
All right, so we will finish these, so give us a quick minute, and then we will move on. We have 2 podcasts left. We have the Brews Traveler Outcast podcast. And then we have Shift Beers.
Shift Beers. And we are back.
Once again.
So thank you, everyone. This is Truth Beer and Podsequences, the podcast where we listen to all the craft beer local podcasts from the week before, and then we give our version of how those podcasts went. Julia, if people like what they hear, how do they get in touch with us, follow us? Where do they go?
They can go to @TruthBeerPod on almost all of your favorite social media platforms. You can email us, truthbeerpod@gmail.com. You can search Truth Beer Pod on YouTube and watch all of our episodes there. And
where do they send all the complaints? The
all
complaint
the complaints
department
go
goes
to @Raging Hop on Twitter.
@Raging Hop on Twitter.
And if you'd like to buy us a pint or monetarily contribute to us in any way, shape, or form, please go to truthbeerpod.com and click on the big blue support us link.
Excellent.
Yes.
So now, back to regular content.
Yes. We actually had an executive decision made for the next podcast.
An ED, as they call it in the biz, right?
Ooh,
Boom.
something like that.
That's fucked up.
But
I come up and they start talking ED shit. You don't know me, man.
But no, the
You kind of do.
the hustler himself, or I'm sorry, Marco, please.
Hustler, baby.
Yeah, there
Matt
it is.
Damaris, who is one of the Brews Travelers from the Brews Travelers Outcast podcast, is here with us to talk about
Second time.
second time.
Welcome.
Absolutely.
Welcome.
Your counterpart could not make it today due to work obligations. I
Yep.
tell him quit his job, do this instead.
Yeah.
But hey, to each their own.
He's up in Cleveland.
All right.
Quick
Oh,
trip.
that's too bad.
Yeah.
Should we tell the Baker Mayfield joke again? Okay. Danny said no.
Danny's like, nope.
So that means
No.
yes. Everyone ready? So I asked my, hey, Julia,
Hey, Marco.
why is Baker Mayfield trending on Twitter?
I don't know. Why is Baker Mayfield trending on Twitter?
Because we're trying to find someone to overthrow Putin.
Oh!
Damn.
Please don't kill me.
Please don't kill us.
I got one for you. If you wear cowboy clothes, are you ranch dressing?
Oh. That's a good one.
Wow.
That's a good one.
If we get 2 more of these, the podcast is going to get
My kids
renamed.
love that one.
So, episode 16 of the Brews Travelers Outcast podcast, you guys went to the Cincy Brewing Company over in Lockland,
Yep.
formerly the Rivertown Space.
I barely remember this podcast.
I think you said it was
Well, you
was
recorded it in
February, or no,
December.
December that you said you recorded. So a little bit of a
We're a week away
time
from
lapse
spring.
there.
Just everyone.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
I don't know. I don't remember when it was. We got pretty tore up on this one.
As
Those are a
you
lot of
should.
notes, man.
As you should.
Holy shit, look at all these notes.
I'm telling you. Otherwise, I don't remember a damn thing about these.
You
I
remember
do what
more
I
than
gotta
me.
do.
Let's go.
Do what I gotta do. So Brian Ross joined you. He is one of
Yep.
the brewers and also one of the co-owners. Is
Yep,
that correct?
yep.
Awesome.
Assistant brewer is what he
Assistant
says.
brewer,
Yep.
yes. And you guys do a really cool segment in this podcast where you let people know what other breweries are within 5 miles of wherever you are.
Yep.
I was amazed to hear some of the breweries that are that close to Cincy Brewing. Fibonacci.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought
I
that
had
one.
no idea that that's within 5 miles, but
and they have goats.
and they have goats, which
They
ties
do.
into Bock,
Sure.
and Bockfest, and all that other good stuff.
Yeah. Cheers to Bockfest.
Hell yeah. So, Quick Trip gets lost in conversation with anybody that he talks to.
All the time.
And this was a very good podcast for that
Yeah.
because he and Brian, they just kind of left you in the dust with a lot of their conversation. They started talking about how he got into working at Cincy Brewing Co., or kind of the introduction to it, and they just went down this very, very long, winding road that somehow ended up with goats at Bockfest in Lederhosen. How in the world did you not steer that conversation back to what the podcast should have been?
I don't even remember that conversation, to be honest with you. I was probably drinking pretty heavy when they talked. Before that, me and Brian are sitting there in Quick Trips up at the bar, like we're ready to go for like 30 minutes waiting on his ass because he's talking to somebody. That's how he does, man. So you get him going, he won't stop.
So
That sounds like me.
What's Brian's Brews Traveler name?
We didn't even ask, I don't think.
Oh, all right.
Oh, okay.
I could go back and ask him. He's a cool dude, man. Never met him
right.
before. Before that.
So a couple things that they were talking about, or that you guys were talking about for Cincy Brewing Co. I really like this analogy, and you guys didn't say this specifically, but I picked up on it. Cincy Brewing Co. is like a mullet. The business is in the front of the house, and all the parties happen in the back.
That's true.
And you guys said you were sitting in the back.
Yeah.
And that's where the music is. That's where all the entertainment happens.
Yeah.
So when are they going to have a mullet named beer?
That's a good
The
question.
mullet. Yeah.
The mullet, what style would that be?
Kolsch. Yeah.
Kolsch.
Yeah. Or a light lager or something.
Yeah,
something,
right.
something easy to
Kolsch.
toss back. But no, it was a really
Mullet
cool
beer.
part of the conversation where where you guys were talking about it being the old Rivertown space.
Right.
And how a lot of the front of the house where the bar is very, I don't want to say business-like, because breweries aren't typally business-like.
Yeah. And the back
but
area
in
is
the back-
huge.
Yeah, the back area is enormous.
Big,
They were talking
fluffy
about
back mullet.
just the curls,
The curls.
Right.
cascading down the back.
Big.
Sure. I can
Billy
see
Ray
that.
Cyrus happenings.
Yeah, so
in the back.
speaking of Billy Ray Cyrus, they also talked a bit about music there and how they want to get more music, more bands, live acts in there. And they said that Wednesdays are going to be Justin Bieber days.
Is that right? Yeah.
All Justin Bieber all day.
Yeah, I think that's
All right.
why Quick Trip was trying to book his band because he's such a big Justin Bieber fan.
You saw that happening. And he's like, hold on a second. And he just went into, I'm sure there was more about it. But, so when is Highly Likely playing over at Cincy Brewing Company then?
I don't know. That's on Mark. You have to follow Highly Likely on Facebook, and
Okay.
he'll
All
let
right,
you know.
we can
It
do
definitely.
that. We can do that.
I think they definitely were stars aligning for that to happen.
You guys were excellent with all of your beer pronunciations.
Oh,
Oh, damn it. I can't.
hilarious. You fucked up
Julia's
pronunciation.
pronunciation.
The pronunciation of.
Yes.
Hey, when the emphasis is on the right syllables, it works out, okay?
I understood that.
Not this. There we go. That's all that matters.
yes.
That's all that matters. You guys pronounced all of the beer names and styles correctly, so great job there.
Thank you. We study them now because you guys bash us so much. We get into that drunk, hillbilly slang and just call them whatever
Just
it
do
looks
whatever.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah, happens all the time.
Is
But
it
you
bashing?
did.
It's not bashing. It's
No,
just
no.
a little.
It's friendly fun.
Little
Well,
joshing.
it makes us conscious of what we're saying, for sure. And when you
Though-
didn't you fuck one up though right before?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There was one.
We just don't admit.
We'll
to
hope
it.
so. Probably.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
All the time.
There was one where you
But
called
we
Quick
s-
Trip something on 2 episodes ago.
We say
Ah,
it with.
awesome
See,
name.
the thing is,
Like
and
what?
Danny knows
Quick tip?
this. When you say it with confidence, it doesn't matter.
That's true.
Just say it with confidence. No one questions you.
That's true.
Although I do question you guys cheering with empty glasses.
It happens pretty often.
I'm telling you.
What do you mean?
I know.
Pretty
I know.
often. You know it's a
It's bad
thing. I mean,
vibes.
is there not beer around?
There
Like
is,
her.
but we're doing flights and they're little samplers. So
Just leave like a little bit, just enough. For
It
their
wasn't
leave
mine, though.
one
It
to
wasn't
cheers
mine.
and then
Alright.
finish
I
up
like
again.
how you're like, yeah, wasn't my glass. My glass had beer in it.
Yeah.
I was good. All right.
well, but I called it out. I told you. You wouldn't have known.
No, you
Unless
did.
you're like
You did
really
call it out.
listening to the tink.
No,
so.
and I appreciate that. You called it out and you called us out. And I also appreciate all the shows when something pops up that, you mentioned Truth Beer Pod. And
Yeah,
where can
it's
everyone
fun.
follow us at on social media there, Julia?
At Truth Beer Pod everywhere. Oh man. So what is next for the Bruce Travelers Outcast podcast? Do you have any other episodes already recorded?
Nothing's recorded yet.
Okay.
We're probably going to be doing esoteric soon because we want to get on one with Diamond. We've already
Yeah,
talked about
yeah.
this for months. Really, it seems
She
like
needs
so.
to get some episodes out there. I
Yeah.
can't
I was hoping
wait.
to see her today, actually.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, she.
All
So
right.
we,
Is she at
that one,
Esoteric,
and then
though? Is she at Esoteric today, maybe?
She probably is, if I knowing
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
But then we're going to be going to West Virginia soon too. So
Oh,
we'll
nice.
do some.
Oh, I've
out
heard
there
about
as
that.
Well. Yeah. Did you hear about that?
I did. I did
Yeah.
hear about that.
Yeah, you
think
should
it's
come.
I got a
question
couple of
mark.
communications about that, by the way.
Oh,
I'm all good.
All right,
Oh,
man.
geez.
All in.
Marco's going to fit in someone's suitcase.
We
Do
just
you want to see my text message?
No.
I'm going to West Virginia.
No.
nice country roads.
Hey, breaking
take me,
news.
take
I'm
me
going to
now.
West Virginia with
We're
the Brews
done.
Traveler.
Yes.
So what else? So aside from making sure that everyone follows the Brews Traveler Outcast podcast on Facebook, which not only do you have a page for the podcast,
Yep.
but there's also a group where you guys share the best information for a
Yep.
lot of the events that are upcoming in the greater Cincinnati area, Dayton, parts of Kentucky.
That's the Cincinnati Brews Traveler.
Outcast podcast group.
Yeah, but then there's a Cincinnati Brews Travelers like group, Facebook group or whatever.
Okay.
And we just kind of talk about where we're going to be drinking. Mark's or Quick Trip. Sorry, damn
Oh,
it, drink.
there we go. Drink.
Everyone drink.
He's
We
always
got-
talking about like the boards. He shows pictures of the boards, which is always
got
helpful.
blocks
I
in
really
those?
like that.
Do you have blocks in those?
What is? Oh my
Oh,
God.
God. They put blocks in their beer. The Ship Beers crew
Oh,
has
man.
blocks in their beer.
Oh
Oh, my God.
This
So,
is-
Matt, since you're here and you also do another podcast, and that other podcast is really fantastic.
Yes.
It's called Hustle and Brews.
Yep.
And so Hustle and Brews is where you talk to an entrepreneur and you dig into their story, into their why, and into their business and things of that nature.
Yep.
Do you have any updates on some of the podcasts that you've done previously? And this only comes to mind because Julia and I and Josh and the Shift Beers crew were wondering how's Delgardo's doing? You know,
He's doing great, man. I stopped down there last weekend. I had a couple buddies in from college. They live in Jersey, and I was like, oh, I got to take you down here, man. You got to try these authentic cannoli. So we went down there. He's doing great, man.
Good.
Oh.
Hey,
and is his cream still great?
they loved it. They loved it.
Okay, so speaking about how the Hustle and Brews podcast is about local entrepreneurs, when are you going to have Noam on your show?
Oh, it's coming. It's coming.
Nice.
So
He's not even
got
paying
it.
attention, so it's cool.
No, yeah,
No,
no,
tell-
you're going to be on Hustle
Do
and Brews.
you have
soon,
some
man.
on
I've talked
slate?
to him about it. What's that?
you
Yeah,
have-
so I've got 3 recorded right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. A couple changes are gonna be happening in the podcast. So when Noam was recording at Narrow Path, he was sitting at the bar with me, and he got me thinking. He got in my head, man, really bad. So he was like, you could do more of these. He goes, there's only like 68, 70 breweries in Cincinnati, and I do one a week. He goes, how many businesses are there? And I was like, there's thousands. He's like, right, you can do one a week. So
Yeah.
I've been trying to build up those. And then, Marco, on one of them, you said this was a long conversation. So I was
Yeah.
I'm trying to cut them down. So I'm going to try to do more podcasts, less time.
Okay.
As soon as I decided that, the first one I did was an hour and 45 minutes. But
Yeah.
Sounds
Well,
about right.
I got
Sounds
one on
about
the
right.
deck for Kamsu, who is the owner of Dope Asian Cuisine, and Decibel up in Esoteric. I talked to one of my buddies who's a pharmacist at Roselawn Pharmacy, and then I got a landscaper, Chad Whelan from Milford. They're already recorded, so it's just a matter of me editing them, getting them out.
Nice.
Yeah.
So-
We're looking forward to it.
I don't know if I told this story on our show or not, but as we were getting ready to start our show, Matt Damaris, Diamond Bell, the Gnome, they were all here recording a show, and I gave them a little bit of an outline of our show, and I said, we really don't want our episodes to be longer than about 45, 49 minutes.
How's that working?
And then you said, Matt Damaris goes, good luck.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
luck.
I try it every time. It's hard, man. You start
Yeah.
getting in these conversations, and they say something interesting, and
Right.
you just want to hear it all.
And you don't want to cut things short for the sake of time. You want those stories to be heard.
Yeah, and I'm lazy with editing. I just let it. I just play it, man. Just let it go.
Well, thank you so much for being
Yeah,
here. We
thanks for
really,
having
me.
really
Thank you.
appreciate your
Hell
support
yeah.
of our show. We
Thank
love
you.
everything
Oh.
you guys are doing.
Can't get out of here.
Matt is now trapped behind the table,
Too big.
so he may he may be here for the rest of the night, which is cool. Don't mind you sitting next to me. But yeah, so subscribe to the Brews Travelers Outcast podcast, subscribe to Hustle and Brews, and enjoy episode 16 at the Cincy Brewing Company. We
All
have
right,
one left.
Let's do it, Julia.
Let's do
Let's
it.
get into it. It's like just rip the
Ripping
Band-Aid
on the
off.
Band-Aid,
Let's
yeah.
go.
All right, guys. You all know what's coming up next. It doesn't have to, but, well,
No, this is
Bert. If I had his phone number. Oh Jesus Christ. We're gonna. He's no, never.
So shift beers, right?
Shift Beers, episode 70, DeBockery, which I have to say is the absolute best Bock podcast name I have ever heard. I mean, it's no shade on anywhere else.
The gnarly gnome is fuming.
He's just there's just like steam coming out of his head, just like I am
his
so
smoke
goddamn
coming
mad.
out of his ears ever since I did that breastfeeding joke, and he's just like fuming, man. He's like, I came out here to support you guys.
Hey, Marky, you
I
have some
nipples.
hand
Can you
cream.
milk me?
You have some hand cream. Do you want to?
Yeah, I got some.
Share?
I got
Yeah,
some.
okay,
I got
there
you.
we go. All
I
right.
got you. Got you.
All right, so Shift Beers talks about Topo Chico Seltzer a lot. I picked up a mixed pack of it. It's not that good. It's all right.
Uh-oh.
But here we go. You might want to sit on the end just because I don't know if you'll be able to escape if you sit at the blue. Oh, shit.
Yo. Hello. Test.
No, we don't have a Beth
Test.
button.
We don't have a Beth.
Unless
I know, aren't those cool? This
Uh-oh.
is
Why are you talking shit about Topo Chico?
a big reason why we decided to do this live show today is because we have plans in the future, and we wanted to do this show as a test, right? So one of the things that we want to do this year is have an all women Truth Beer pod. Now, don't give us credit for being like woke or anything, because it's our show. It's going to be Truth Beer
It's
pod
already
with
been-
nothing
it's already
but
been
women.
too
It's
far.
not going to be like go deep into women and beer. No, it's going to be making fun of your shows on our show, but
Yes.
nothing but women.
Yes.
But we wanted to make sure that the equipment could actually do that show. Another thing that we want to do, and I hope BC's Bottle Lodge, as our gracious host, is down for doing this at some point, Podcast Palooza, where all of us are going to do shows all day long from BC's Bottle Lodge, Montgomery.
Oh my God.
yeah.
So we wanted to make sure that they had the capability to actually do that.
Yes.
So along with this being fun for us, and maybe Julie and I doing this again in a couple months into the future, we wanted to make sure that the capability was here to actually do that. So thank you all for coming. Thank you for supporting us. And
For being our guinea pigs.
yeah, for being the guinea pigs. And speaking of guinea pigs,
We have 3/4 of Shift Beer sitting at the table with us, so this could get a little crazy.
It's half
we
a
got-
shift beers and Caillou.
More like
So-
Caillou.
So I want to
Caillou's intentional.
to say that I was very proud of you guys for keeping your drinking under 30 minutes this time.
we should
Well-
introduce who's actually on the mics.
No,
also.
they know them.
I try
We got
to
Josh.
reel everybody in on your drinking because
No,
you guys
don't.
you guys
drink the
make
most.
you guys it's true. You guys make fun of us because it's always 30 minutes long. So
He just lied
It's true.
so hard.
All right,
It's the
so
biggest lie I've
before we
ever
get too far in, who do we have on the mics from Shift Beers?
hi, I'm Josh. I do social media marketing in the brewing industry.
I'm Brian.
That's all I got. I'm Chris.
Chris isn't allowed back here ever again.
I'm
No,
really excited
no.
to be here.
Chris or Caillou, depending on who you ask.
Heyo.
Can't do it.
Can we
It's an
talk?
important conversation
Can we
we're
talk
having.
about just drinking real quick?
Yes, let's talk
Yeah,
about
let's
your
do it.
drinking.
Yo, this.
What are you guys just drinking? Because
I'm-
what the hell?
I'm just drinking PBR and pineapple blocks right now,
Oh,
thanks to the wonderful BC's Bottle Lodge Montgomery.
All right.
Come and get your
round
blocks
all the way
action
around.
at BC's
No,
Bottle
all right.
Lodge
Where's
Montgomery.
ours?
I'll get you guys. You guys want pineapple?
Danny
too?
PBR with
Yeah.
a
It
pineapple
sounds like- it
block.
sounds like
They
a
got
good
strawberry and lemon lime.
Ooh, strawberry might be good.
Ooh yeah.
I'll do
Mm.
strawberry.
Let's
That's-
get
that's
let's
what
get
we're
two
doing.
PBR and strawberry blocks over here for these two on my
Where
tab,
do you think
please.
you are? He's not gonna give them for
He's
you.
doing it.
doing it right
Brian's
now.
doing it. We love you, Brian.
He just wants to
Oh
get
my
rid of
God.
the blocks.
I know. He's like, these things have been in here for like
So he can
3
take the
years.
freezer home.
So he can take.
He's got a spot waiting for that freezer. It's been there for a year. He's like, one of these days I'm gonna be able to put some
One of
other
these
stuff
days.
in here. And it's gonna be full of nothing but like round ice containers for his bourbon.
And Thin Mints.
Yeah, and Thin Mints.
You have Thin Mints back there? Oh, okay. All right.
Yo, he's got
What a miss.
the blocks took over the Thin Mint space.
I don't know why Girl Scouts weren't out here. I mean, they set up at the Hooters. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't understand why
It's
they
perfect
wouldn't be
place
here.
for it. So, Brian, you
You know what the B in
so
Brian
you-
stands for?
I'm not
Oh,
sure
Jesus.
I want to know what the
Butt
B in
chug.
Brian- yeah. Not
Missing
wrong.
some letters.
You know what the C in
A-
Chris stands for?
No.
Long crack in his ass.
He's been waiting for this moment.
You were correct. It is called soaking, and I hate you for making me curious enough to look it
I
up.
did.
Yep.
I didn't do it. For anybody who didn't
At least
listen,
I was right.
So
Did you look that up?
Yes.
That's on your Google history now?
yes,
Ew.
yes, it is.
my phone connects to the
I was at
Wi-Fi at
work,
my
so it was
work.
on my
I will
phone.
not be looking that up.
No, do not, do not. But
It's a
but-
Mormon thing,
But the
y'all.
part about jumping on
Fake
the
sex.
bed wasn't
Right.
entirely accurate. But
Good. I'm happy I was
wow,
No, you're not.
Look at this hand-delivered
Matt's
block.
looking it up
oh
right now.
my God. I know
Strawberry
Matt's
PBR
like
blocks.
Mormons. Don't look it up, people. I mean, it's. Well, I mean,
Brought
or
to you,
do. I
brought to you
don't
by
care.
Brian at BC's Bottle Lodge. The B in BC's
BC's.
Bottle Lodge.
Thank
Check
you,
'em out.
sir. I mean,
You know what the B in Brian from BC's Bottle Lodge stands for? Wish he wasn't listening.
oh.
Fuck him up, Brian.
No.
Wow.
No. Brian is helping us out. And
No, he's doing
we
great.
appreciate
Producer
him
Brian, thank you, Producer
incredibly,
Brian.
incredibly much. So you guys talked about doing
'Cause you
another
produce our beers.
show called Discount Beers. How is that different than gas station singles? I
Oh.
need
like either show.
clarification on that because it feels very, very similar.
Well, I mean, you're right, but what we're yeah, it's really like going to the different beer retailers around the city and buying the like $2.99 6-packs.
Okay.
Whereas a gas station single is like $1, like 16 plus ounce, can of whatever.
And Brian, you said
Genesee?
you were okay with this?
Like buying
oh,
some
God.
Genesee. Hey, Genesee.
Yo,
These
I
are my
should
least
have
favorite
brought
shows.
that.
I do not
No.
like
The
them.
Genesee, it was a $10 12-pack,
Yeah.
which is basically a discounted. You guys don't
Goodbye,
want
sir.
it.
Thank you for coming.
Bye. See you later.
Peace out. You want a koozie or
Bye.
Snickers?
He had enough with us.
We
I
kicked
think
out
he did.
3 tables.
3 tables of people are no longer here. Yeah, I know. Oh,
Yo, that guy was
Look,
having fun though.
Listen,
He
Brian.
was.
I
We're
think he
here
was
every
having fun.
We're here every Tuesday, Brian.
spending
This is-
more money than I need to be spending.
This is good for you.
Yes. So we also got a great story about how Josh bottomed out his Miata by trying to fill it up with 30 racks.
Yeah, Josh, you want to give a short rundown of just the particulars of how your car was riding dirty?
It was riding dirty. So I used to work at a local restaurant. Jesus, grocery store, international grocery store.
So Brian, this is
The
not
Blocks.
terrible.
He's at Blocks.
Jungle Jams.
It's not good,
He's
but
at
it's not
Jingle
terrible.
Jams.
He's at Blocks, ladies and gentlemen.
I've had
He's
beers.
had box. He's had beers.
I've had beers. Hashtag Danny Harold. But yeah,
Rising ships raise all tides.
Oh, that was a good shot. But yeah, so they have like an infamous discount section, and one day they had it was like $3 or $4 30 racks of Natty Light, and I notoriously would let my dad know whenever things were on sale because he doesn't care what he drinks. He just whatever the cheap stuff is.
How often do you make that mistake before you just say no, not?
I never did it again after this one because it was like I said, it was like $3 or $4, 30 rack of Natty Light, and I was like, I'm just letting you know, right? Like it's an informative text, right? But he responds, "Give me 12." And I'm like, so here I am. I get off work, and I'm rolling 12 30 racks of Natty Light for $3.99 through Jungle Jim's checkout, and I have to somehow fit them into my Camaro, which I no longer own. It's kind of hard. It's hard to fit 12 30 racks of beer in that vehicle.
It's hard to fit lunch in that vehicle
Also true.
with you.
Yes.
I mean, that's so tiny.
What's your block to beer ratio now, Josh? Open your. I'm screwed. I need more beer, or I'm gonna end up with all block.
I've been trying
here.
to eat the block as I go.
You can't though. It doesn't.
I've
float
been
right.
mixing it with my finger.
So for the
just finger it a little bit.
You gotta
just finger the block.
just a little bit.
You gotta
Finger it
one
just
finger.
a little bit.
I'm not gonna finger the block, Josh.
Stick your finger in and just swirl it around like circular motions.
I know where my finger
circular
has been.
motions, Chris.
Shit.
Anyway,
This guy's shut down.
so
for
now-
anyone not watching on the Platinum Patreon live stream, what's going on is blocks are frozen flavored alcohol ice bricks.
Yes.
And then you can for a decent a nominal upcharge here at BC's Bottle Lodge Montgomery, you can dump them into
How much
your
is a block?
Jesus. Only $3.
I bought 5 of these.
Only
4 of these.
Only $3. It's so great. I heard that you just got that raise over there at the place you don't work
Brian,
at.
what are the flavors?
Lemon, lime, strawberry, and pineapple. All of those were at some point.
In the Baptist, the 2 times Baptist.
No, you do not. No, you're cut off.
Wait, the French toast with the strawberry.
No.
Actually, that sounds awesome.
You guys could do that on your own free time.
You can do that on your own podcast.
Yeah, on your own podcast.
I'm only partly serious, but I can't do that and be safe. No. Oh my God. But yes. Who's gonna help drink this thing? Raise a show of hands. Who's gonna,
Not it.
Chris will take one.
All right, yeah, we'll do it.
Oh,
Yep.
geez.
No.
Whoa. Oh my God.
I want one.
So slumber
split it
party
6
at
ways.
BC's tonight is what it sounds like. Because none of us are going to be able to leave this place once this is done.
What else? What else you got?
All gonna have gravy legs tomorrow.
No, I'm not having any. I'm not having any conies. I'm not having any conies.
So Shift Beers has a Patreon account for people that want to monetarily support you guys, equipment, buy you guys beers, that kind of stuff. Your most recent episode.
That was a good shot, Danny. Oh my God.
Danny Harrow with the.
Danny plays sports.
Yeah.
Danny plays lots of sports.
Lots
we
of
know
sports.
This.
He's a disc golfer. He knows.
He's a disc golfer.
He knows how to throw a circular
pizza
object.
These are crazy overstable.
Pizza connoisseur.
He's a wedding guest.
He has. He's in a kickball league that I didn't know was a thing.
Yes.
Oh my God,
Pretty
he's
soon.
pouring it right now.
Pretty soon he's going to be in the Cincinnati Curling Club.
Curling Club,
Learning how to
Cincinnati
curl.
Curling Club.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's. Oh.
Easy like Sunday morning.
Just hold it up.
It's got a spoon in it.
This.
We do things that other podcasts dare to do.
So you need to video this, and that'll be the next Patreon video. Just a real quick, Chris trying this. I don't know what. No. Woo!
Woo!
Drive that into you. Butt chug.
Yeah. Strap it on.
Strap it on.
Oh man. So this is now like Shift Beers Junior. I think
No,
is what
so I
this
do
is
want
turning
to.
into?
I do
Yes.
want to give a little bit. Take us through the story. I don't know who brought it up. Was it Josh? Was it Brian? But Chris is involved in a. Experience. Let's call it.
Okay, where are we
That's going to
going?
come up near Oktoberfest, where our friends from up north are going to come down and
Oh yeah.
take in the Cincinnati Cincinnati Oktoberfest experience, but also there's another experience that is going to be ancillary to that.
Could be.
We're trying to go to a Wings game, eh?
Is it?
No.
Well, I
What's going
was thinking
on?
about more of where somebody they're going to butt chug.
no.
Yeah, we're gonna
he's
bring.
They're gonna
gonna
butt chug.
loose through my butt crack.
Butt
yeah.
loose through your
and
butt
it was
crack.
and it was just gonna be pure sweat by the time it came back out.
It will
It'll
literally
evaporate.
be at least 87 degrees,
Ugh.
and like the salinity level will be way up on the beer. Yeah, it will go in a
So,
lager
but
and
will
come
it-
out a goza.
This is why we have the
And that's
explicit
what I- and that's
tag on our podcast. Yeah,
that's-
pass that around,
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah, and that's what I was gonna
Yeah,
ask.
just-
Is it gonna
we're
re-ferment
post-COVID.
before it
Just
gets out
pass
your
the
ass?
thing.
Good God.
This right here.
It's actually not terrible. See
It-
if
it's
my
not
Josh
bad.
wants it. It's actually not,
Not bad.
terrible.
What we're doing is probably a bad idea, but
Yeah,
it's not
probably
bad.
a very bad idea.
It's
All
not
right,
bad.
so
That's right. Hint of horse blanket. Yes.
the funk to it.
Brian's quitting the podcast.
I can't blame him.
Right.
All right, so I'm sorry, man. I tried to keep it reined in. It just does not happen. So we have one more thing that we always like to talk about for shit
Chris, you need
beers.
beer.
That's right. So the only podcast in that we cover that we decided we'd put a drinking game with is shift beers. And what we do is very early on we decided, well, I think although we could choose many different things,
Yes.
think burps, counting burps and challenging just really everybody and nobody at the same time to do this drinking game. So we count the number of burps during shift beers, and then we, based off of an average of, say, a 2-ounce drink, give you the number of pints that you would have consumed if you did the drinking game.
Yeah.
You know, playing along
Drink
with
it.
listening
Drink
along,
it, Matt.
drinking
It's
along
not the
with
end of the
shift
drinking.
beers.
Yeah.
And so
Do not chug it before
it's
driving home, dude.
it's ranged, depending on the show. Oh, hold on, we got a chug. Oh God!
Or it's going to be an entire Coney crate.
Woo! 20 nug night,
All
crave
right,
case.
so-
I just drank like 30 people's backwash.
Yeah. And it also means that you're getting a crave case on the way home, and it's going to end incredibly badly for you and your fiance.
Okay. Yep.
Oh, is that where the hair came from? Oh, God. Anyway.
Dana gave it a bandit mask. So anyway,
What is happening here? All right, the burp game.
so anyway,
Reining this back
so
in
the-
as best as
so
I
the-
can.
so
Good fucking God.
the burp game. So 2 ounces per drink. We count up all the burps and we give you that tally, that total.
Yes.
And so Julia,
Marco.
what do we look like? What's the tally?
The total burp count for this episode was 58.
That's respectable.
34 of them happened in the first half of the episode. So you
Yeah.
guys
Yeah.
were doing great. So when you translate
lot.
that into ounces, that's 116 ounces of liquid, which translates to 7.25 pints of whatever you're drinking.
You know what's funny?
Awesome, excellent
You
work.
guys
excellent
did
work.
good.
I feel like burping during the podcast because, like, I listen to a lot of beer podcasts.
Yeah.
And either nobody burps or they cut them out, right?
Yeah.
And I think that hinders our ability to grow as a podcast because no one wants to hear
Do
it.
that. We do.
Because I don't remember what episode it was, but when I was going back to do our like recap episode that we did, which was probably about 3 or 4 episodes back now.
Yep.
I found the show where we were all burping, and I literally was like, "Hey, we probably shouldn't burp," and everyone's like, "Dude, fuck you, dude! Like we're fucking burping," and like then it became a thing. So
I think it's one of the things that makes you stand out amongst all of the other podcasts. And I
Agreed.
I look forward to listening to every show that we cover every week. I really do.
Yeah.
Same.
And I love that it's different in many different ways, and the burps help you stand out. And,
Yeah.
you know, as a person who has been on the show and leaned into that as well, I think it's fun. It helps set the ambiance in a way for the show. So, and Julia, I mean, you were on the show.
Yeah.
Did you bring it? I mean,
I didn't. I'm just not a very vocal burper. It just doesn't
give it a shot.
have-
I mean,
no,
let it go.
I'm good. I'm good. Maybe I'll probably end up puking. It's just not. No, I would rather. It would not be awesome.
there was a
It would not be awesome.
a Shift Beer's
Yeah.
puke.
Hey, they've even said it after some burps. They're like, "Oh, that was liquid. That I got some chunks on that
And
one."
then there's
So,
a pre-burp.
Yeah,
We've
and
had
there
a
were the
few
pre-burps.
Had a
pre-burps
couple
lately.
reverbs.
Yeah.
The pre-burps are the best, but I gotta amplify it.
They
'cause you can't really hear
because
it
they
unless I
they
amplify it.
fester, kind of
So-
like Uncle Fester at the end of the table here.
The next thing that they're going to do is amplify by adding like reverb to the burp somehow. So if you
Yeah.
figure that out, I'm looking forward to exactly.
That's our next
exactly.
dubstep album, Shift
Oh.
Beer's dubstep.
Is that a
Volume
Patreon
1.
only exclusive?
I don't know. We gotta go mainstream with that.
That's
Burp step.
Yeah, burp
Yeah.
step.
nice.
that's
very
coming
nicely
soon.
done.
I will
That's
say
claim to fame.
before we cut an album with that, just listen to them in halftime.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
so good.
It is
incredible.
ridiculous.
They are great.
I mean, that's where you get the dubstep from, right? That's where dubstep comes from. Oh my god. That's where it comes from.
Hey, quit harshing his vibe there.
Look, if a sports
Let him-
podcast
let
can
him
make a
enjoy his
musical, you
moment
guys can make a
where he
dubstep
thinks he
album,
knows
a burp
something.
step album. Well, awesome. How does everyone find you?
Find Shift Beer. Oh God,
How
dude, some shit's going down, and I. Oh! Woo!
clanging and banging.
I almost just
Oh
died.
my God.
Wow.
Danny Harrell just flung a coaster at Shipper's crew and hit a dinger.
A dinger.
Oh,
Whoa, geez.
Whoa.
It's getting rowdy up in here. All right, so
all right,
how does
so
everyone
how
find
does everyone
you?
find Shift Beer?
Pretty much at Shift Beers everywhere.
That's our line?
It's funny because like we didn't have the Instagram for the longest time, and I like matched the person's name with his Facebook account,
Oh God.
and I literally
you stalked him.
sent him a message on Facebook, like Messenger. I was like, hey dude, I see you have this Shift Beers account on Instagram, and we do this podcast called Shift Beers, and we were about a year into it because I didn't want to like hit him up like, yo, we only did 3 shows. I was like, yo, we're like 40 shows in. And I was like, what do you want for it? Like, I literally will pay you pretty much anything reasonable. He's like, oh, yeah, you can just have it. Because he works in
That's
the brewing
awesome.
industry and shit. So
That's cool.
shout out to random dude who used to have at Shift
Woo,
Beers on
go
Instagram.
All right, random
dude.
dude.
So we're like,
Shout out
Shift
random
Beers on
dude.
everything. I don't think he does. He's probably like, who is this guy?
You can talk into a microphone at any point.
but-
I mean, it's fine.
No, I'm good.
And use your hashtag Shift Beers. But I'm pretty bad at that, so just tag us. Because I suck.
Yeah.
All right.
Not,
And you
not
guys
yeah,
have a
you suck, but
Patreon
yeah.
with
I mean,
bonus
at
content.
Shift Beers,
Patreon.com/Shift
hashtag Shift
Beers.
Beers.
Which I will say, this last bit of Patreon content was amazing. It was a mess. It was a hot mess.
It was a hot mess.
But it was amazing, and it makes me go, Marco, you and I are putting out our bonus episodes basically for free.
Yeah.
True.
We could be putting this shit on Patreon.
Could be.
Yeah, we are.
And then people
we're
pay
get,
us
we're gonna
for
have
it.
a bonus episode here with the gnome when this is over.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ow, ow.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
yeah, we put a lot of stupid stuff on Patreon. I think we missed
It's
February,
fun.
so I apologize.
It's fun. It's fine.
But basically, we do like gas station singles, some of the videos, all that stuff.
Banger in a
I mean,
box.
banger in a box.
Yeah.
5 to 10
Step
bucks
one.
a month, or $499.
Get a box.
Chris will murder whoever you want for $499. He
Damn.
killed 2 people in February.
Nothing
so that's
says
how you were able to
love
afford
like
the,
murder.
The mic, the boom arms.
No, that's how I afforded all those blocks. Is the $499 Patreon
Fair.
contributions.
Fair. Well,
when
thank
Josh's
you guys so
fiance
much.
hears this, she's like, "How come the wedding budget is so much
It's
lower?" It's because of the blocks.
The blocks.
It's the blocks.
It's the blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freaking
Well, thank you
$3
guys
a pop.
so very, very much for
Thank
being
you.
here, for
This
being
was
on the
fun.
show. This was amazing, and we need to be on your show sometime soon.
We
Awesome.
need to get both you guys on our show.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Shift Beers. All right, so Julia.
Marco.
So we ran through the gamut of shows that we listened to.
We did
last week.
Yep.
Oh, my favorite.
They are all my favorite for different reasons.
We're not your damn kids.
No.
What's your favorite?
Craft Parenting Pod. Fuck you.
There you go.
Their podcast, so Craft Parenting Podcast, bounces from being purely entertainment to educational to a blend of both, which all of the other podcasts kind of just fit into one category. So, what am I going? Yeah.
Hey, Brewcast does that too when he finally. One thing, my wife was out of town.
It's called parenting. I don't know.
My favorite
Details.
was mine. I listened to it last week.
I guess that would.
I'm
be
the first one to listen to it every week.
I
listen to it to make sure I know what everybody else is going to be telling me I said.
Technically, I'm the first one that listens to it every
That's
week.
true. You are the
You
first
just hear
one.
the results
Yes.
of that, yes.
Yeah. You do a great job.
Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic. You really do. You are the muscle behind this show. And I truly appreciate everyone's listenership, whether it was your first time or whether you've been with us a long time. And I truly appreciate all of the craft beer podcasts and the content that they put out, as well as everybody that's present here today.
Yes,
and everybody
shout out
that
to you
couldn't be
guys.
present here today but is present in spirit. So thank you to all of you. Julia, what
Marco.
are you doing next Tuesday?
Next Tuesday, I'm going to be listening to some Cincinnati craft beer podcasts, coming to BC's Bottle Lodge Montgomery, and talking about them with you.
Sounds good. That's, I think, what I'll do. How about that?
Sounds good.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks, everyone.